Hi, I'm Prachi Bhardwaj and I welcome you to the 9th episode of the SCC Online Weekly Rewind, where we bring to you all the important legal developments from the week gone by. With the COVID-19 cases skyrocketing, the Supreme Court has issued some important directions to contain the further spread of the COVID-19 cases and also to ensure availability of medical health facilities to the citizens. One of the most important orders passed by the Supreme Court was on the distribution of oxygen to the states. Hospitals all across the countries are facing severe shortage of oxygen, and to curb this, the Supreme Court has constituted a 12-member national task force to formulate the methodology for the scientific allocation of oxygen to the states and the union territories. In another important order, the Supreme Court has ordered decongestion of the overcrowded prisons by limiting arrests and releasing inmates on parole. Currently, there are over 4 lakhs of inmates lodged in the Indian prisons. In a big development, a 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court has quashed the much in debate Maratha reservation and has held that the Maharashtra State Reservation Act of 2018, as amended in 2019, granting 12% and 13% of reservation to the Maratha community over the 50% reservation, does not come under the exceptional circumstances as contemplated by the 9-judge bench in the Indira Sahni case. The court also held that there was no need to revisit the Indira Sahni case, which had fixed the cap of 50% reservation. In a very important decision, the Supreme Court has refused to restrain the media from reporting on the court proceedings and has said that it is a staunch proponent of freedom of press. The order came after the Election Commission of India approached the Supreme Court to restrain the media from reporting on court proceedings after Madras High Court made some oral comments and said that the Election Commission was responsible for the current surge of COVID-19 cases in India. During the hearing, the Madras High Court had allegedly said that the Election Commission is the institution that is singularly responsible for the second wave of COVID-19 and that it should be put up for murder charges. In order to obviate the avoidable litigation by over 36,000 schools of state of Rajasthan, the Supreme Court has issued General Uniform Direction for deduction of 15% of the annual school fees for the academic year 2020-21 in lieu of the unutilized services and facilities. During the complete lockdown, the schools were closed for a considerably long period, and hence it was noticed that the school management must have saved on overheads and other recurring items such as petrol, diesel, maintenance cost, stationery, electricity, etc., and hence the said deduction was justified. In a significant ruling on COVID-19 vaccination, the Chhattisgarh High Court has called the state government's decision of fixing a priority with reference to financial status as absolutely illegal and violative of right to life. The state had decided that the third phase of vaccination will be given firstly to the poorest of the poor, secondly to the people belonging to the below poverty line group, and thirdly to the people belonging to the above poverty line group. The court has now asked the state to fix a reasonable ratio for allotment of vaccines. Rising as a common man's masiha, the Delhi High Court has, in a series of orders, issued several directions like curbing the shortage of oxygen supply in the national capital, exemption of IGST on the imported oxygen concentrators, structured scheme for unorganized workers, distribution of essential drugs like remdesivir and tocilizumab injections. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has asked the Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh governments to consider providing home delivery of oxygen cylinders to those patients who are on oxygen support to reduce the burden from the healthcare providers. Asking the state government to deal with the COVID crisis on war footing, the Rajasthan High Court has issued several directions to curb the shortage of oxygen, hospital beds and essential drugs like remdesivir in the state of Rajasthan. In a landmark ruling regarding the right to practice of a chartered accountant, the Kerala High Court has held that the ICAI's decision of not recognizing a chartered accountant's retirement from a firm is an unnecessary and unwarranted hindrance in the professional advancement of the professional and also offends Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution. After an FIR was filed against one Sunaina Holey with regard to a tweet alleging that it was made to cause hatred and enmity between Hindus and Muslims, the Bombay High Court has held that since there was no disturbance reported immediately after the tweet or even during the course of investigation, the FIR deserved to be quashed. The court went on to say that the right to express one's views has been protected in our democracy, and merely because the point of view of the petitioner was harsh or extreme, it will not make it a hate speech. On May 3, 2021, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has issued a notification whereby the rules on the number of board meetings and filling of forms have been relaxed considering the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Labour and Employment has issued a notification dated May 3, 2021 to enforce Section 142 of the Social Security Code 2020. It is now required to provide Aadhaar details for people like employees and unorganized sector workers seeking registration, benefits, availing services or receiving any payment under the schemes of the Social Security Code 2020. In a major development, the Centre has revised the national policy for admission of COVID-19 patients to the COVID-19 facilities. Three major takeaways from this are: 1. A positive test for the COVID-19 virus is now not mandatory for admission to a COVID-19 facility. 2. No patient will now be refused admission on the ground that he or she does not have a valid identity card of the city where the hospital is located, and nor will the patient be denied the oxygen or the essential drugs. And 3. The admission to the hospitals will now be only on need basis. So no more occupying of hospital beds by people who do not need hospitalization. That's all from this week. Stay tuned to our channel for more legal updates.